Hi there, diecast fans. What we have here is a 1964.5 Ford Mustang Coupe in 1:24 scale by Welly. And yes, you're looking at the OG of the pony cars, the first generation Ford Mustang. Because of this, the Chevrolet Camaro and the Plymouth Barracuda existed because this car was very successful and an instant hit in the American market, and also makes that this car was very recognizable around the world as the Ford Mustang, no doubt about it. Now, as time goes by, that this car becomes wider, bigger, and even faster because it's going to open to a new classification of cars in the American market, the muscle car era. It's going to be the foundation of those big, brawny, V8 powered muscle cars, and I'm pretty sure that Ford Mustangs is going to be or going to have a spot on those category. And what we have here is the 1:24 scale made by Welly. Now this diecast car looks timid and looks standard at the same time with its classic looks. The white sidewall tires, the all chrome exterior, and even in the interior that I will show you later. Now, I got this diecast around 11 years ago for around 12 to 15 US dollars, and this color was identified, I think, between the Dynasty Green or the Pagoda Green. If you refer to the internet, there might be a confusion because of the color palettes. I cannot identify which accurate color this represents, but at the same time, I'm really not a fan of the Ford Mustangs, but when I saw this on the shelves on our local toy store, I was just overwhelmed on how well he detailed this diecast model with that chrome bits on it. Of course, made out of plastic. Even the interior and the proportion of the car is really fantastically well made. So I didn't hesitate to grab it for that price. Okay, enough about the background story of the Ford Mustangs and the diecast itself. Let's dive into the detail how well he made this diecast model. Now, judging the front detail of this diecast model, now this diecast is around 19 centimeters in length, so it's quite small for a 1:24 scale diecast model. So going to the chrome bits itself, because it's the first thing you're gonna notice onto this diecast model. So you can see the bumpers there, there's no jagged lines or misaligned or something. And the chrome bits is still in a very good condition. I barely touched these parts right here, so there's no fading nor cracking of the metallized plastic there or the chrome bits. And even in the grill is very impressive. No jagged lines on the very thin plastics right there. Now, you could say that the logo is just okay because that kind of small, and this is a budget model. We have to consider those things. And the headlight is quite impressive right there. Now, they put some added chrome rings on the outer bezel of the headlight right there, and the texturize of the headlight itself. Now, there's a peg in the middle. Just pretend that it's a H4 headlamp at the same time. And they also didn't cut corners on the signal lamps right there, signal lights. Now, there's a plastic amber transparent piece right there, an insert, and that's quite impressive for a budget model. And also the license plate holder. Now let's go to the engine bay. Now onto the engine bay of this diecast, and we pop open. You can see how small that diecast is, and I don't know if this is a 289 or the 260 as a reference on the fender right here. They describe the displacement of this engine. But anyway, see, it's doing some automatic closing at the same time, so I have to hold it with this. So you could see the air cleaner there and some silver containers there for the fluids, I think. I don't know for the power steering. I hardly came across a Ford Mustangs because these cars are really rare now. Hardly often that you see on the roads. And you can see the radiator. Now this is made out of plastic slab right there, but it's well detailed in my opinion. Just the less colors that they made, and also you could notice the valve covers there colored in blue. And there's a sticker there, right there in orange. I really can't read what's the wording or the numbers on it, because it's very small. And around here at the back or the right side of the radiator is going to be the battery. So that's quite an impressive only plastic slab detailing by Welly on the engine bay. Now, front wheels or front tires of this diecast. Let's dive into the detail itself. And you can see there the hubcap on the rim itself and the white sidewall tires for the entire wheel itself. No, there's no brakes, of course. That wasn't a trend back then. But the proportion of the wheels is well made and right for the size for the entire diecast itself. It's not too small nor too big. And you can also see the 260 writings there and the Ford Mustang down below the fender there. Now, it's not made out of sticker, it's tampo, so cleaning this diecast is going to be safe. And just look at the side profile of this diecast, especially those wheels, those hubcap wheels right there, and the chrome bits. Now, if we zoom in to the door itself, you could see the side mirrors there, the quarter glass, but there's no separate chrome trims right there on the roof. That's just a painted silver, and also the door handle. And you can see also a vent. I think that's really not a vent, it's just a decor on the real car. It's made out of plastic, separate chrome piece for the diecast itself, but at least it's there. And you can see the rear wheels, same detailing compared to the front wheels, the hubcaps, the side walls for the tires. And marching into the rear, you could see the little bumper right there as we go to the rear part of this diecast. Now, how iconic that is. There's no doubt that this is a Ford Mustang because of those taillights right there, the 3 vertical slats right there, and the bumper, of course, and of course, this says Mustang on the plate number holder there. And the reverse light, as I observed, this is made out of plastic, a separate plastic there, transparent and insert, and they chrome the shroud for right there with silver paint. So very impressive for a budget model. And you can see also the bumper, there's no jagged lines, well executed chrome parts by Welly. But at the same time, you cannot open the trunk since this is a budget model. They have to cut corners when it comes to detail, but at least still looks good and very impressive. Now onto the interior of this diecast model, and they use the dogleg hinges right there. At least it's not falling apart yet. Anyway, let's go to the steering wheel. There's a chrome finish with the glossy black on the steering wheel, outer steering wheel itself, and you could see in the interior is all black with some chrome inserts, just a typical 1960s classic cars during the time. And they also included some, I think this is a painted or chrome bits on the dashboard, on the gauge cluster pinnacle there. Now, it's hardly gonna be seen because that's how small it is. Let's try to zoom in for the additional detail of this diecast. You can see there's the gauge cluster there. I think there's a numbering on it. But you got some chrome all over the dashboard right there for the glove box, and as you can see the stick right there that this is a manual transmission car. As you can see the door cards there, they also included for the door opener, door latch, and the wind-up window. Now for the right side, there's really not much to see, but you can see the dashboard right there on the center pinnacle of the dashboard itself. The dashboard is well made, it's painted, it doesn't have too much jagged lines or extra plastics on it. For me it's really well made. Even the transmission tunnel right there, it's texturized, yes it's pure plastic, but it's well represented. As you can see the floor mats there and the seats, typical classic car 1960s cars back then. Now my thoughts and verdict for this diecast model. Now for around 12 to 15 US dollars, this is not a bad diecast to own or to take a look if you're into a 1:24 scale. Of course, the 1:18 scale is going to be more detailed. Now, I don't know if this is still available in the online market. If you can come across this for sale on your local hobby store or toy store, you might find interesting how detailed this diecast is, especially if you are a fan of the classic American cars or muscle car or just a 1960s cars, or just a fan of those chrome bits surrounded around the car itself, because there's no doubt the chrome bits on this diecast model is really attractive, at the same time very shiny and well put together. Now guys, thank you for watching, and I hope this diecast review entertains you and helps you at the same time if you're interested in this kind of diecast models. And have a nice day.